Hello again. My name is Mike Ram, and I want to talk to you today about getting stuff out there onto the web where it's visible, where people know that you're operating, and not trying to be too perfect about it, just trying to get stuff out there that gives enough information to make it possible to function, even. Um, so, People talk about this, particularly sort of experienced entrepreneurs when they're coaching beginners, and that's their watchword. Don't strive for perfection. If you're thinking of being a perfectionist, then you may want to look at your desire for procrastination or something like that. If you're striving for perfection, it's something you'll never attain, and you can continue to beat yourself up over your imperfection till the end of time. It ain't going to change a thing, and you probably won't have too much of a web presence. So, when you start out, just go for just good enough, certainly not perfect. And over time, you can improve it because obviously, as you get more experienced online, you'll think of improvements automatically, and other people will suggest them to you, and you'll learn how to make things better. And before you know where you are, you're doing some fairly reasonable things that, win the expert's approval almost. Take making these videos, for instance. The other day I passed video 100. I don't have any huge audience. I've had a few looks and likes. Sometimes through advertising. I don't have any subscribers, but the main thing was always just to get the stuff out here. And when I started, it was just a case of getting a video online where, I had a subject to talk about and I put it out there. And as time went on, I made improvements, and then I started um, doing things sort of unseen, just using the knowledge I had in my head. And I got a lot more experience just doing that, so that I have the neural pathways made that I can draw on at any time and talk about various aspects of marketing as I go along. It's not perfect. Sometimes it's not even very good, but it's just good enough. And the better my neural pathways become, creating a connection between my brain and my mouth, and being able to drop details about marketing, the better, so that I become more conversant in the subject and it becomes more a part of me. Anyway, that's it. And I can think of improvements now that I'm going to make going forward in this series, which, will include sort of a vague introduction, which I tried there, and introducing myself. And then once I built out the body of the video and made my basic educational tip, then I have a call to action. Well, hopefully, if I remember. But when you start out in this brave new world, you're not really going to know too much, and you're not going to know where you're going. And as people have said, when you start anything like videos, you're going to suck. You're going to really suck. You're going to be terrible. And over time, you'll suck a little bit less, and a bit after that, you'll suck a little bit less still. And until one day you'll realize that actually, though you still suck, you're actually quite good. So, it's always going to be onward and upwards. And provided you're consistent and do the work, you're going to sort of gradually build up a body of work which amounts to something that is valuable. And that's it, really. Just don't try and be perfect when you start out, because that is a complete waste of time. And something else I wanted to talk to you is, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and master everything, because that's not going to get you anywhere. It'll stress you out and it'll kill you off in the end. Overwhelm is avoidable if you know how to prioritize your tasks. Um, and you can do this by moving from a to-do list to a must-do list. Must-do list is something of value. A to-do list is just something to keep you busy and running around on the pretext that you're obeying a to-do list. And very often, if you have a must-do list, you have most important tasks which you carry out every day as the most important things you have to do. And you'll find that if you've got other things on the list, then those other things that are sort of secondary and tertiary on the list are just going to drop away. They cease to be important. They may have been important once, but they just cease to have any relevance or importance as you move ahead. And those are my points, really. Just good enough works. Don't try and be a perfectionist. And for God's sake, do what you have to do, not what you think you need to do for the sake of your to-do list, because you're just going to get into a muddle and you're going to stress out. So keep it relevant and don't try and be too good at everything. And that's it really for today. But if you want a free product about traffic, then hit the link below, because this is sort of starting to give you a lesson about how to do traffic in 2018, which is obviously where we are today, and saving yourself a certain amount of trouble and failure as you go along. So hit the link below and get this free product, and I'll see you on the other side. And obviously, thank you very much for your attention. It is very precious to me.